So the next thing we're going to do is take this model and look at it down at the studio scale level, right? So last week in our previous class, we set up everything that we needed to set up in that studio render, right? So we're going to do a draft, we'll play around with it, we'll look at materials, and we'll basically just go from there. So I've already sort of preset up a view that I'm going to start working with. It's this one right here, Studio Perspective. Okay, you may or may not have already set one up. Looks like, hang on a sec. I noticed there's a surface missing. Oh, great. I don't have a surface here on the end. Well, ignore the fact that this surface is open, but I'll actually, you know what? I'll just get a new model. I need to get a new model for this anyway, so let's lock that, lock that, that. Nope. Need to lock all the layers. Whoops, not that. Lock the platform. Like that, that. Nope, that. Get rid of that. Okay, cool. I'm going to turn everything back on. Okay. Do you guys remember what my scale factor was? Oh, I know what it was. It was 0.0104. Boom. Okay, so it really is as easy as that, right? There's not much. Whoa, what did I just do? I did not move it. All right, there we go. So there's not much else to worry about with that, right? So I mean, like, that's the whole process. Every time you make significant changes to your model, you just group it, copy it, scale it, drop it in. That's it. So anyway, I can just now go back to the same view I was in, and there's my updated model, right? Voila, right? That's key. So for this particular setting, we're going to look at a couple of different things to do differently. And I'll give you some sort of like methods of saving the settings that you want to work with. So let's start off by saving the current settings for the full scale model. The downside of the Maxwell Scene Manager is that every single one of these menus has a preset that's separate. So if you're going to save a preset, you need to save camera presets separate from your location and time preset, separate from your environment preset, separate from your file output preset. It's a little annoying sometimes, but it at least manages it fairly well for you. So for us, we're not so concerned about location and time. We don't have to change that very much. Our camera settings are all going to stay the same, so I'm not going to bother saving that preset. But my environment setting is. So what I'm going to do is go to this little preset button. Actually, you could just go here. You can save it as a separate file if you want to export it, or you can go to the preset button and you can click on Create Preset. So what this is going to do is allow you to create your full scale physical sky preset. Okay, so now when you click on that preset, you see this menu right here. It says full scale phys sky. You can apply it or remove it. So I can also, when I change this for the studio scale model, I can revise this. So what I'm going to do for the studio scale model is I'm going to change the environment to constant dome for now. And then I'm going to check off using the sun. Okay, so this is just going to give me diffuse ambient lighting throughout the space. And I'll go to my preset menu. I'm going to create a preset again, and I'm going to call this Studio Scale Phys Sky. You can call it whatever you want. I guess saying Fizz Sky is a little redundant because obviously it's, or I didn't mean to say Fizz Sky actually. Hang on. Let's remove that.
Well, you can't just edit it?
Yeah, you do. Studio scale, but the good thing is you can apply it, then save a new one, then you can remove it if you need to make a slight change to it or something like that. Studio scale, dome. We'll do that. Okay, the other thing that I want to change here is the output. Now that we're doing the studio scale, we do actually want to be able to modify our multi-lights, right? That's those lights that we dropped in for the context. So the only thing I want to change here is I'm going to change multi-light to intensity, and I'm going, actually, sorry, let me go back to off. Actually, this one is so simple, we're not doing anything really different. You don't have to save a preset, but I'm going to do it anyway just for, just for the sake of it. So I'm going to create a preset, and this one's going to be called full scale export. And then I switch it to intensity, and I'm going to change and create a new preset for studio scale export. Okay, that's really it. So when I go to studio scale export, I can say apply, or if I want to go back to full scale export, I hit apply, and you see that it switches back to multi-light off. Clear enough? All right, so make sure that intensity is on, and everything should already be set. We did modify some of the materials there a little bit, and good thing is the materials of the large model, or the layers and materials of the larger model, also matched the layers and materials of our smaller model, so we don't have to do anything else. So we can just jump in and start doing a draft render.
The angle that you wanted this photo for this render?
It's up to you. Yeah.
Just whatever kind of...
Yeah. Feel free to pick an angle that works for your model and for the view that you set up.
So multi-light is on?
Multi-light is on, yeah,
Okay.
on intensity. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit, and then we'll talk about it. Just a couple minutes. So, so here you see the result. Really, I mean, you know, the numbers that we picked are kind of fitting. You could always adjust a few up or down and sort of change a few things around if you need to. If I need to kind of brighten up one side, I can increase the emitter here on the left. I can increase the one on the right or decrease the one on the right. Actually, that one doesn't seem to be doing much. But I could always put some more diffuse glow in the background if I need to. This is going to get way too intense if it refreshes. But anyway, the idea is you have full flexibility to sort of increase and decrease all the lighting. So this is the level that I want you guys to get to with your massing models, is I want you to be able to create essentially a simple massing model where you can understand the architecture without getting distracted by the detail of the architectural condition. Okay? So, the next thing I'm going to show you is a few of the things that could start to distract you and your viewers from what is really important about a massing model.